This season, I noticed that Andrew Wiggins, his point totals have been down from what he's been doing historically. Why do you think he's had a kind of a tougher season this year?
Well, he got off to a slow start. I think the absence last year took its toll. He's a rhythm player, and he didn't appear to be in rhythm when the season started. And then I think our team's struggles have had an effect on him. We've moved him, to the bench. We've moved him in and out of the lineup. We've put him with different people. So as we've searched for our team, he's gotten lost in the shuffle a little bit. I think I can do a better job of getting him more involved, calling more sets for him to get him downhill. He's still a very important player for us. He always guards the toughest guy. He's a great teammate. He's still a young guy. Wiggs has plenty of basketball left in him, and I think he's been much better here the last couple months.
Coach, the Grizzlies are on a 6-game losing streak, trying to get a win. They're thin, though. What level of importance have you guys placed on taking advantage of that, being that they are so understaffed, but then also winning, given the standing so far with your seeding?
Yeah, I mean, we know we've got to win every possible game to get where we want to go. So that message doesn't change, whether it's the Knicks or Memphis or the Pacers. We know the importance of every game. The thing we know about Memphis is they play hard. It doesn't matter who's out there. We lost to them in Memphis the first game we played them this year. They were missing everybody, and they made a million threes and spread us out and turned us over and just played extremely hard. That's their identity. Taylor does an amazing job with their team, and they have a culture of, they call it grit and grind, and it's real. So that's the warning to the guys, before the game. Every time we play them, we give them that, that qualifier. But at the same time, they got, even though they're missing people, they got some horses. Desmond Bane is back, and Jaren Jackson's playing at a high level, and we know what Aldama can do, and so they got plenty of talent. We're going to have to play well to win.
What have you seen from Brandon offensively the last couple of games, and what do you think he needs to get going again?
Brandon? Nothing. It's the ebbs and flows of the season. Everybody goes through stretches where the ball goes in, stretches where the ball doesn't go in. The thing I love about Brandon is he plays at a really high level even when he's not scoring. He does so many things for us that are important that we still need. So in my mind, he's playing fine. He's just not scoring right now, but that'll turn.
Steve, you said that you will be calling on Loon periodically over the course of the season and certainly in the postseason. How do you dictate when to use him, and how much of it is matchup based? And
who are we talking about?
Loon.
I'm sorry. Loon, yeah. I think we miss Loon right now. I think we miss his competitiveness, his grit, his toughness. What changed this year was we just have not been able to play many too big lineups. And so with Trace playing as well as he is and us playing Draymond at the 5, it's left Loon out of the rotation. So you guys know that's my guy, I mean, I'll go to war with Loon any day and vouch for him my whole career, his whole career. He's going to get another opportunity, but I don't know when that'll be exactly, because there aren't any minutes right now, because both Draymond and Trace are very important to us, and they're taking up the 5 minutes. But it always turns, something happens, and Loon will be back out there.
You mentioned just now when you said that BP is doing things you need him to do,
Mm-hmm.
but his scoring totals have been mostly single digits. Can that keep going if Draymond is not going to give you much, and if Wiggs is not going to give you much scoring, and just JK and Steph?
Well, no, I mean, we definitely need additional scoring from other people. And from game to game, that usually changes when you're talking about, third, fourth, fifth scorers. So, again, I'm not worried about it. But, yeah, we need some balance, to our scoring. You saw Sunday in L.A., a lot of guys chipped in and played really well. And, that's what it takes.
Part of that Looney answer was you obviously, referred to Draymond as a 5 now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can he be a 4 for you guys moving forward, or is this just kind of he's a center now?
No, I think he's best suited at the 5 in the modern game. Everybody spreads you out and makes so many threes. We are playing Draymond with Trace for a handful of minutes a game. We like that defensively. We like the idea that Trace can be the lob guy and Draymond can space the floor and make an occasional three or run a dribble handoff. So he can definitely still play 4, but I think his best position is the 5.
Steve, after Monday's game, Steph referred to the standings not really mattering as far as the seeding. You got to play better. Where do you see his leadership maybe show up, maybe in practice, off the court, during a game? Where does Steph kind of step up in that game, not just obviously his play, but his leadership?
I mean, Steph's leadership is just ever present. It's just the tone he sets every day. He's not going to give us a big speech about the standings or, what we have to do or how much better we have to play. He's just here every day putting his work in and being an example for everybody and bringing that great balance of the competitive fire but the joy for the game. Like Steph's our guy. He's our leader and he sets the tone every day. But again, he's not the big speech guy, so his leadership is constant.
Hey, Steve, it seems like you guys really turned a corner containing the ball defensively after Draymond came back towards the end of January. Then you put Wiggs and JK in the starting lineup. Just how would you assess your point of attack defense here more recently over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's overall over the last 6 weeks or so, dramatically improved. We're just staying in front of the ball better. I think it's probably mostly personnel related. But Draymond behind the play is so good also that he gets guys in the right position before they sometimes recognize it, and that's helpful too. So, I mean, our defensive rating since Draymond has come back is dramatically better. I don't know exactly what the numbers are. Yeah, he doesn't either. He's up playing Game Boy up in the office. What's that? You're like 8 since Draymond came back. Yeah. So I think, thanks. Yeah. But I mean, Draymond is one of the greatest offenders of all time. I mean, he's brilliant, and so the impact he's made has been dramatic. But I think he allowed us to play Wiggs and JK together, and so now you get the 3 of them. You just have, across the board, we got better speed and ability to stay in front.
And Coach, watching the game back last game, it's little defensive errors. It's leaving the guy open the transition. It's letting a guy drive by you, go middle. How do you teach that part at this point in the season with no practice? What is a coach? How do you instill those principles, especially as you need those things going to the playoffs?
You let Fezzi in here, man. No, it's a good question. I mean, it's the challenge that we face. Throughout the season now, that we just don't have a ton of practice time. So we watch a lot of film. The younger guys go through kind of the pre-practice work where we try to drill that stuff in. But I think the biggest thing is our team is much more vulnerable now than we've ever been. And so those mistakes are exposed. I think we were still making those mistakes, over the years, but we were able to overcome them. And now we're not as easily able to overcome little details. And that's why we are where we are. But I have a lot of faith that we can clean that stuff up and win a lot of close games, and that's what we're going to need to do.
Where are you seeing Draymond at physically right now? He's obviously popped up on the injury report a few times with the back. He had like 4 days off, played really well in L.A., wasn't that great the other night, back on the injury report. Just where do you think he's at physically? Yeah,
he's a little banged up. I mean, he's been playing a lot since he came back, whatever that was, 6 weeks ago. Played every game, I think, or no, he just missed the one in Dallas, but a lot of minutes and a lot of wear and tear over his career. So he's just at a place in his career where he requires more maintenance, and there's going to be more bumps and bruises. But he takes great care of himself, and he was in here this morning with Rick and told me that everything went well, and he feels good, so he's ready to go tonight.
I think the rest of the way it's either 1 day of rest in between games or back-to-backs. Just how do you manage, that kind of sprint, that kind of pace?
We do have a lot of depth. I mean, I think that's the strong suit of this team. We got a lot of bodies, a lot of good players, guys we can count on, and so we'll lean into that.